Oh, yeah.
You are live.
We are live. And we'll get the show started in what? Just a few seconds. Just a few seconds.
Boom, boom, boom.
You know?
Just gonna be stuck in my head all day.
I know they get stuck in my head every time it does. It really does. You know?
Just gonna be stuck in my head all day.
I know they get stuck in my head. All right. All right. All right. All right. How you doing?
I'm
Welcome to
good.
the
How are you?
I'm good. I was getting ready to say, welcome to the Brown South Girls Podcast. I'm Miss Tanya, and you are.
KJ.
Yes, you are. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I can't believe we made it one more time.
We did.
One more time to the last Sunday of the month. So we got to give up some thanks and some praises, you know?
Yeah, shout out to the people for watching too.
Shout out to the people who are joining us. So this is going to be really interesting. I got to point something out. I got to point something out that is very, very obvious to me right now. The green couch. Where's
We
the
had
green
to bring
couch?
up the couch. The green couch had to find a new home. So now I
Well,
have this bluish chair.
so wait a minute now. Not only is the green couch gone, but it looked like you're in a different location. I mean, is there a little something you want to disclose? Where you at?
I did give up my green couch and my nicely painted walls for this wonderful cinder block. But no, I have left Florida. It was a good time, but now I'm in the Queen City, so I'm excited.
The Queen City.
Yeah.
Girl, you in Charlotte.
Yeah, not to be confused with the beautiful city behind me. But yeah,
But a city is a city. So
it is.
you know what? How you been liking it so far?
I like it a lot. I think I
Yeah,
need a painting of the skyline here because it's really cute.
it is cute. I always like, because Florida has an international airport. Every time I'm going somewhere, I basically have to fly out of Charlotte. Even if I get a
Yeah.
connection from here to Charlotte, wherever I want to
Hmm.
go, I'm flying out of Charlotte. I
Right.
love flying over there.
Yes,
A
I'm
little,
excited.
little southern city,
Right. Still in the South, but still city life.
still in the. Did you say city life?
I did. I needed people to hear the Southern.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We got some interesting things that we're going to talk about.
Hmm.
Talk about this month. You know, we have these conversations. We do a little update because typically we hadn't seen each other, or so we have to talk. We communicate,
Yeah.
and we started this podcast, and we just kind of have our conversation, and we let people join in with us, and people have been enjoying it. I get a lot of comments. People stop me and they talk about it, and people are liking it.
Yeah.
They're liking it. So I picked a couple topics. I know we talked about a couple things. So let me look here into my little stash. And the first topic I think we can talk about is alone and lonely.
It's a good one.
You hear that?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Alone and lonely. And I got my notes. I don't know if you got your notes, but I got mine in my phone.
Oh, yep. Got mine on my iPad.
Alone and lonely. We can say that we know that alone and lonely are two different things, right?
Hmm.
However, what do you think each of those things feel like, especially when you live alone? And what if you live alone and you happen to be single? So that's another thing. That's putting like another spin on it as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's just a huge difference between alone and lonely, and definitely I'm not a lonely person. I'm
Hmm.
that type of person who can find things within myself. I kind of like being alone, is for the most part. I
Hmm.
don't know necessarily um if I can really say that I've ever really been lonely. That's a
Yeah.
different thing. Some people feel like, they have to have other people around them, that they have to be involved in a relationship. I don't feel that way. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. And if you think about this, just a typical lifespan, right? Let's say you live to be, I don't know, 75, 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of years. So most of those years, if you're going to live that amount of time, I think the person that you really need to be most comfortable with is yourself.
Yeah.
So being able to have some alone time is very, very important. But I'm gonna let you speak on it a little bit, and then we'll get into the conversation, and we'll kind of see what other people have to say about it. You guys
Mhm.
can put your comments in the chat, let us know how you feel, and we'll just take it from there. What'd you feel?
Sounds good to me. I mean, being that I do live alone and I'm single, I don't. I like being alone as well. I enjoy being by myself, my me time. That's also how I recharge. Like I need that alone time, and I'm also very content with just spending time with myself, doing things that I enjoy. I don't think I get lonely, or at least not when I'm alone. I feel the times that I can vividly remember being lonely have honestly been times where I've been in like rooms full of people. And I know that might not sound like it makes sense, but like, I don't know. It's like sometimes you'll be in a space and it's just like, it's just not a good space for your energy. Those are probably the only times where I can say I feel lonely because my person is just like, why am I here? I don't need to be here. So those are really the only times where I truly feel lonely, but I enjoy being by myself. Maybe a little too much. Like the beginning of the pandemic, like as far as the isolation part was concerned, was great for me because I
Right.
didn't have to be around people. But I do love people. I love y'all. I promise. But I just enjoy my alone time. That's the introvert in me.
I get it. And I feel the same way. You said something that was very interesting to me. You said that oftentimes you felt yourself feeling lonely in a room of people.
Hmm.
And that's really interesting. And I know what you mean, because you feel like there isn't anybody that you necessarily can vibe with, or that you're
Right.
communicating with on that certain level. And
Hmm.
so, although you have all of those people around you, you just kind of feel like, okay, why am I here? I'm alone.
Right.
And another interesting thing, because I've had so many different dynamics of relationships, um, from marriage, from dating to not dating. So I understand what it is to be in a relationship and have someone there. I also know what it's like being single and not having someone there. I also know what it's like to live alone and still be in a relationship with someone. So I got some of all of that.
Hmm.
And one of the worst feelings, and I hear this even from some of my friends and people who I know are married, and when they're not vibing and you're in a marriage and you feel lonely, that's a
Yep.
horrible position to be in. And it happens. It really happens. It happens in marriages and relationships. You're in a relationship and you actually feel lonely because you're not vibing with that person. You guys are at some type of odd. And
Hmm.
so it's like you're passing each other, and you're feeling that loneliness. That's the worst. That's the
Right.
worst. The
And I feel
absolute
like
worst. Go ahead.
it's also like that's I've never been married, but I feel like that's hard to navigate because you're in a marriage versus, just a non-marriage relationship. I feel like that's easier to not feel lonely in because you can have that conversation, and if you need to split ways, it's easier to split ways than being married. And it's like you have so many other things to consider. So how do people navigate that?
Listen, it happens all the time. It really does. And I know that people know that typically when you're ending a relationship, whether that's marriage or whatever type of significant relationship that could be,
Hmm.
when you feeling that end, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a time when you can start, you feel that loneliness. And I felt that before. It's like, you're looking at a person across from you, across from the room, or they're in another room, you're in the house together, but you're really lonely. And that
Yeah.
makes no sense. And that tells you that you're just not in the right situation, you know?
Right.
So it's better to be alone. It's not a
Exactly.
bad thing.
I was literally gonna say that. Like, if I have to feel lonely in a relationship, I can be by myself because I'm cool. I like I like me. We can vibe.
Exactly. We got some people who are joining the chat already. And all right. What's my man named Drunk? I hope you not while you
Well,
watching a podcast.
it is
But
5 o'clock somewhere.
it's 5 o'clock. You know what? Let me take a little sip.
It is, and it is 6 o'clock right now where we are. So I mean,
It
hey,
is East
do what
Coast
you got to
time.
do. Right.
He said, okay, what he said is, I was dating a female and I felt lonely the whole relationship because I didn't like nothing she was interested in.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yikes.
Nothing. So, that makes me wonder, like, how did they even get into a relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You
yeah.
guys decided to date each other and you didn't like anything?
Well, you know, people put on facades too, especially people who feel like they have to be in a relationship to not be alone and to not feel lonely. So it could have very much been like, you know, I like this, or we're gonna do these things, and like they may have found some common things in the beginning, and then once you get in a relationship and you get comfortable, and then you start to know somebody, and it's like, dang, do I really like you? So I can see how it happened,
I
but
did.
hopefully y'all were able to cordially split ways.
Yes. Go ahead. Split. Let me see what he said.
Ah,
Let's see what the brother
interesting.
had to say. He got a response. He said, I was sexually attracted that led to the relationship.
Mm,
That that's a dangerous place to be in,
it is.
because definitely that's not going to sustain a relationship. That is going to wear out very, 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 very quickly.
Yeah.
So you've got to have some type of foundation, and your sexual relationship is definitely not the foundation for any long lasting relationship at all.
Right.
Okay, we got Miss Lady Q in the building. She's like, definitely. So many people think that being alone is a bad thing, but definitely being happy is more important.
It for sure. It is.
She said
It
it.
really is. It is.
She
And if you
said
can't
it.
be happy by yourself, how do you expect to be happy with somebody else? In all
Hmm.
honesty.
Yeah, you're right, because like it's important to find that happiness within yourself
Mhm.
and that goodness within yourself,
Right.
because you're not going to find it outside.
Mm-mm.
And why are you looking for it outside of yourself? You really shouldn't
Exactly.
be, you
Yeah.
know?
You can't. You really. I don't remember where I heard it or who said it, but it was something along the lines of you can't look for someone else to complete your happiness because otherwise they're going to be living up to a standard that they didn't even know they were trying to live up to, and that's not going to work. So
That's not
you got to
it.
find it and bring your happy together and then be happier. But man,
That makes a lot of sense. It's like trying to be who others want you to be is not going to allow you to express your authentic self, and
right.
that's pretty much what you're saying. I took a note here, and it says that
Hmm.
we need to learn. Well, we do need to learn to live alone, to have that alone time, because even if you have a family, and happily you're living in your home and your relationship is fine, things are going the way that they need to go, you're there for each other, you're building, and your family life is a success. But there are still times when you're going to need some alone time. You
Right.
need to be able to find ways of doing things, that you like. Get into some type of hobbies. Even if you just want to have some alone time to read, some
Right.
alone time to just take a bath, just soak, just
Right.
some of the smallest things that doesn't have to be anything extravagant.
Hmm. We got a good question. Drunk is coming through. What is your real name? But he said to be in a relationship, do you have to sacrifice some of your personal happiness in some form?
Ooh, ooh,
You can
yes,
answer first.
yes, yes. Because that's what being in a relationship is going to require. There's going to have to be some give, the same way that there's going to have to be some take. Of course, you're going to have to have to give up a little bit of those things that you feel like because, what am I really trying to say? Because you can't be selfish.
Yeah, you can't. You really
Bottom
can't.
line, it's like I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it, but let's just say what it really is. You
Yeah.
cannot be selfish. If you're going to be in a relationship, you cannot be selfish. So there will be things that you're going to have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but here's the thing. It has to be things that you are willing to sacrifice. What were you going
Yeah.
to say?
Well, I was gonna say what Q said. You have to compromise. I feel like everything in the relationship isn't going to always make you happy. So it's kind of like you have to pick which battles to fight. Yeah, you got to pick which battles to fight. Like, okay, what is something that's actually like, okay, I am completely giving up my happiness for this, or is it like, all right, I can put my dislike to the side and compromise because this is the person I decided to be with. So yeah, the compromise is really what it is.
It is. It is. Here it is. You have to be clear in what you believe. You have to be clear in expressing that, and you need to be able to express that in a loving way. And
Yeah.
so, if you're able to do that and you have that open line of communication, then it doesn't so much feel like sacrifice. It just feels like a
Yeah.
part of your relationship, a part of what you're saying, that compromise.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. I
All
think so.
right. So, lonely and loneliness definitely are two different things. You're going to have to learn to be alone. And what
Yeah.
happens to those people who, like, we see some of those older ladies or older men who were in these long lasting marriages and relationships,
Hmm.
and one of them pass, and then they end up, for a time of their life, they actually are living alone.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what that is like, but it is a reality. So at some point in our lives, different points of our lives, there are
Mhm.
definitely going to be times when we are living alone.
Yeah, definitely. Got to get your practice in sometime.
All right, drunk. I wish I knew what drunk name was. Drunk. You know,
You want me to do some investigating when we finish?
you
Because
know
I
what?
can.
We gonna find out who drunk. We gonna
I'm going to go
find
right on
out
the
who you
YouTube
are.
and figure it out.
But thank you for participating with us, ma'am. Um, I don't know. I feel like we've said enough on that topic. I don't know how much more you can really express. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to say, or you want to go to hit another topic?
We get another topic. We get another
Hit
topic.
hit another one. What we got on the list?
Well, it kind of goes with what we've been talking about, though, because next, how do you decide who to date?
My real name is drunk.
You know, I'm not even going to laugh because I also have seen a student whose first name was unknown.
Mm,
Not people didn't know it. Their first name was the word unknown. So
hold
hey.
up. Before we get into that next topic that you were talking about, I see another comment here.
Hmm.
I think being an only child has helped me deal with being alone.
That is interesting.
And
That
that's
is
true
interesting.
because think about it. There are a lot of kids who are only children, and you
Mhm.
got to know that their parent is not with them
24/7. Yeah.
24/7. So they have to learn to entertain themselves. They have to
Hmm.
learn to be comfortable with playing and finding
Right.
things that are interesting on their own.
Yeah.
So we've got a whole demographic of people who already know from childhood what it's like to be alone. And that doesn't mean that they're lonely.
Exactly. Exactly.
Take us to the next topic, KJ.
So the next topic kind of goes with alone versus lonely because once you learn to be alone, right, and you love you some you, how do you decide who to date?
Ooh, ooh.
How do you make that decision?
How do you decide who to date?
Let's play a game.
Mm, mm. You see, I'm quiet over here.
Me too. How do you decide? How would you decide, mother?
Well, Jeez. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to figure out this because I took a note here and I asked this question. I know that you asked me a question, but I'm getting ready to answer a question with a question, and I don't
Mhm.
care if it's the right thing to do or not.
Go
But
ahead.
I'm trying to figure out, are you able to identify and express what is required for a man or a partner to have access to you, right? And
Hmm.
so you need to be able to identify what is required for that person to have access to you. And that is going to determine whether or not you're going to date that person. So, how do you decide? Is it because they caught your eye? Is it some mystical, magical thing that happened across the room? Uh, did he send you a drink across the bar? Um, did you walk into him at the mall? I don't know, wherever you were. That's an interesting thing. How do you decide who to date?
I agree with Kim. You run. You just run. Run in the complete opposite direction. Pass go and collect all your $200. Run.
Well, on
Oh,
the opposite side of that, just to listen, my girl said, date them all.
that's a
Date
good one
them
too.
all. You know what? Now I can kind of dig dating them all because you can go through a process of elimination. You really could.
You could.
And when you think about it, dating is supposed to be a selective process.
Hmm.
So if you decide to date them all, date a few people, you're not in a committed relationship because
Right.
dating and relationship are different.
Yeah.
So if you're dating a couple people, you do get an opportunity to have that process of elimination. You kind of see who you're vibing with, see who has that that thing that you're looking for, whatever it is, because you have to decide that.
Yeah. I agree. I
How do
totally
you
agree.
decide? What is it that will make you say yes to go out on a date with someone?
That's a great question.
I mean,
Because
you've been out with people, so just think back to just think back to a time.
let me think back in my memory. Hmm. It would have to be. I don't know if I would say it was like a magical at first sight thing, but I think for me, like, well, it does have to be something. It has to be something. If it has to be a level of confidence, a level of respect in the approach, and just being open, being kind. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I could go on a date and get to know this person better. And then if I end up not liking them, then we don't have to go on any more dates. But yeah, I think now that I've really thought back through it, and for me, it's like the confidence in the beginning. The approach is very important. If you can't approach me respectfully and be honest and upfront with your intentions, don't waste my time. Like, that's just simple. But yeah, I think those are the main things. Just the
Right.
confidence and the approach.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. For me, there's been several different things. Sometimes I've been caught with someone who is funny.
Hmm.
If they have like a good sense of humor, being able to just kind of make me laugh would get my attention and at least get an opportunity for me to talk to you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then based on that conversation, there is the potential to date that person,
Hmm.
but I feel
Yeah.
like catching my attention or making me laugh is going to be one of those things, or it has been in the past.
Yeah.
um so I guess I'm not that difficult.
I might be. And I only say that because I laugh at any and everything. So if making me laugh was mine, I'd be on dates all the time. So I'm like, I got to filter this out.
Okay, let's hear what my man here drunk is saying. He said, women say be honest with intentions, but when we say intentions, y'all get weirded out, whether it's one night or marriage. Hmm. I got to think about that. Let me kind of think about what my interpretation of this is, what he's really trying to say. He says women say be honest with intentions, but when we say intentions, y'all get weirded out, whether it's one night or marriage.
Mm, I
What's
can
your
kind of
interpretation?
understand. I can kind of understand because this is a popular topic amongst my age range as well. So it's kind of like, okay, we ask, for you to be honest and upfront with your intentions, and then if a man initially says, okay, well, I just want to have sex with you, or I'm gonna marry you, it's kind of like, whoa, you don't know me like that. What are you doing? That's what I get in my head from this comment, and I can understand
Got you.
both sides. Like, yes, I wanted you to be upfront with your intentions, and some men's intentions are a little strange. So it's like, okay. But I also think there's a respectful way to turn down their advances if their intentions don't align with yours. Like, you don't have
Ah,
to be. I mean, you can feel weird. You're entitled to feel how you want to feel, but I think you can be respectful about saying, okay, well, this isn't what I was looking for, without just completely like, oh, not talk, ghosting them, not talking to them no more, or whatever. But yeah, I think I put, he said exactly. I was picking up what he was putting down.
good. Good, good, good. I'm glad you kind of caught on to that because I didn't really get it at first, but um I understand.
Yeah.
And I like that. And he's also right, but it's still the right thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Whether she gets weirded out or not, or whether he gets weirded out or not, it's still the right thing to do because you're saving yourself a lot of wasted time.
Yep.
You're saving yourself wasted emotion. And
Hmm.
then to be honest, if a man approaches you and he says his intention is, a one night stand or whatever that case may be, you never know. It could be a woman's intention as well.
Right.
It could be. So it was good that you put it out there like that. But then that thing
Yeah.
can, a lot of times, people say that. People
Mm.
say that's their intention. But if you continue to do that, somewhere along the line, feelings are going to become involved. And
Right.
men's feeling get involved too.
Hmm.
So sometimes they will meet that woman and he thinks, okay, this is my intention, and she agrees, and she's on path with that. That's She's
Right.
cool with it. That's all she's want. That's all that you're there for. And then boom, you feeling like you want more. So I think that whoever goes out there, whoever puts out there, okay, my intention is just a sexual relationship, be
Mm.
careful because it could be you who end up getting caught up in that. So don't
Right.
don't think that women aren't going to be able to handle it, because believe it or not, I think the times have changed so much. The dynamics has changed in women's lives so much. Women are handling their own business. They
Hmm.
have their own homes. They have their jobs. They have their careers or whatever it is. So they're not really looking for what you think they're looking for.
Right. Right.
So men, don't get caught out there like how you thought women were getting caught out there in
That's
the
it.
past. It's
And
it's
keep
it's going both ways.
right. And keep telling them your intentions. Keep telling them.
Hmm, hmm. And he admits it. Let me put his comment up here. He said I caught feelings with one night stands, and he's not going to lie. And I'm glad that you said that because it
Hmm.
really happens, and men just don't handle that well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that women handle it well, but men do not handle that well either. So once again, that can go both ways. So both of you be careful,
Right.
but it's still a good thing to say what your intentions are and
Hmm.
respect. If
Right.
if if no one wants to continue in a relationship, let it
Let it
go.
go. Peace out.
Let it
Gotta let the door.
go. That means
Right.
that wasn't a person for you. It really wasn't.
Right.
What does Kimberly got to say?
All right. So my toxic trait, I've always wanted to say that, is I go from 0 to 100. If I'm attracted to a person physically and mentally and socially, while I'm at it, I'm in. And I tend to have tunnel vision. Like, I can't see myself dating multiple people freely.
Ah,
I can I can agree with that last line, just because my attention span and dealing with multiple people at a time, eventually I'm gonna get frustrated with somebody and I'm gonna end up back at one person anyway. So I guess that's my toxic trait. I get frustrated with too many people too fast.
That
But
makes sense.
I can see it. There are people who are like, I can't date multiple people because if I see something in you, I like you. And then if this doesn't work out, I can go date somebody else. But right now, this is what I'm pursuing.
That's interesting, and I get it, and lots of people are like that. It's just the dangerous part of that is that when you date one person, I don't know that that is dating. It sounds like a relationship. It sounds like people are setting themselves up. Like when you date one person, it seems like you're setting yourself up and thinking that you're in a relationship. So you're doing certain things with this one person. But
Yeah.
if you can, in your mind, know that, okay, this is just dating and nothing may come of this, and I'm just putting my all into this one person, and that works for you, then that works for you.
Yeah.
Personally, that does not work for me because if I'm dating, there are no strings attached.
Yeah.
There isn't. So I don't feel like whether I date someone else is any of that other person's business. I'm not a disrespectful person by nature anyway.
Hmm.
So I don't know necessarily that that would have anything to do with either party. I'm just not like that. And also let us be clear. Let me say this. Dating and sexual relationships are two totally different things as well. Just because I go out on a date with someone or I'm dating them does not mean that we are having a sexual relationship
Right.
at all. Because it didn't, you know, that's where you have to define what a relationship is to you.
Yes. And dating, because everybody has different definitions of that as well.
Absolutely. So the key thing is going to be communication.
Yep. And that's where those
Communicate.
intentions come in.
Okay. Kimberly said, yep, I go the relationship route. I say I like to date, but it just doesn't appeal to me. And oh, how I'd love to date. Well, I'm just not at a point in my life where I feel like relationship is really all that important.
Hmm.
I really don't. Not in terms of a committed relationship. I have been married. I was married for a number of years. I have dated, and I just feel like I'm just not interested in anything. I'm really not. So that alone, like what we were talking about in the
Yeah.
beginning, that
Right.
alone is just a beautiful space for me. It really, really is. I have no problems whatsoever being alone,
Yeah.
not whatsoever. And I have friends who I can hang out with, who I can go out and eat with, who,
Mhm.
and I live in a small town. I live in a small town, so a lot of us know each other. So I don't really feel like I have an opportunity to be lonely because
Yeah.
if I go out, there's someone that I know. There's
Right.
always someone for me to talk to. And even if there wasn't, just the nature of being in a bar or going out, there's people there, and 9 times out of 10 someone is going to talk to you, you know
Hmm.
um, so I don't have that space of feeling lonely. I really am loving my aloneness. And
Yeah.
then when you have family, it's not like you're ever really alone. When you have friends, you're not really ever alone. Being alone to me is very intentional. Like I take that alone time, I make that alone space. So that's what that is.
Mhm.
Relationships, been there, done that. I've been married, been divorced, dated, been played, all of the above. Heartbroken, broken hearts, any of those dynamics within whatever relationship can be, I have experienced that. I mean, I'm middle aged, so yes, I have, and I'm in a comfortable space of beautiful aloneness.
Right. You middle aged. You could have fooled me.
I'm middle aged, I got grown childrens.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
For real, for real. What is drunk saying in here?
Is the word dating overrated? Like if you're calling someone your boyfriend or girlfriend, is that dating or more?
No, that's not
I feel
dating.
like that. Yeah, no, that's a relationship. If y'all
That's a
girlfriend and boyfriend,
relationship. Now you get to go on dates. I mean, you go on dates, but that's not necessarily. You know what? Drunk is making a
some good points.
drunk
But
is making a good point.
but I feel
I
like mm, I feel like if you, or at least how I would, how am I trying to say this? I feel like dating is kind of similar to the process of courtship. Like you're getting to know someone, you're seeing where you're compatible. You are going on dates if that's something that you want to do, but it's just it's the process of courtship. So like you're getting to know the person to see if there's potential to be in a relationship. So you can date multiple people because you're like, okay, I want to see if I maybe you're interested in them and you want to see if this relationship is going to work. So, we're dating, we're going to go on dates, we're going to get to know each other, have those conversations, talk about all the well, not maybe not all the important stuff, but the important stuff. And then when you get to the fact of, okay, I want this person to be my girlfriend or boyfriend, you are in a relationship. And hopefully y'all have that conversation as well. Don't just be out here thinking stuff.
thinking stuff.
That gets folks' feelings hurt.
Yes, it does. Now,
Hmm.
I like the question he asked about dating and dating, and I'm
Yeah.
going to spin this into another question I want to ask about dating.
Okay.
Has dating become too expensive, or is dating expensive?
Life has become too expensive. Let's start there. But I do think people's expectations for dates have become too expensive. I don't think dates themselves have.
Okay, okay, I can dig what you're saying. But then I guess that depends on who you are.
Right.
That depends on who you are. That depends on your budget.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on, you know, her budget or whatever. Th- th-
Right.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But is dating expensive?
I don't think it has to be. I personally don't. And I like and to back up my point. Thank you again. People are too superficial, which makes dating outrageous. And I think that has a lot to do with it as well, especially with everything people like to post on social media. They only want to show you the good and the fancy and the bougie. And
Mhm.
I get that, if you're dating someone and you're courting them and you want to invest in them, but I feel like if you are getting to know the person, then you know what they like, you know things that they're interested, you know what they want to do. So it doesn't have to be expensive. Like, don't take me on a date just because it's going to look nice to everybody else. I want to go on a date that I'm going to enjoy, that we're going to enjoy. We're going to be able to take something away from the date, learn something new about each other. So I think it really does depend on getting to know the person and your budget as well. Because some people are just natural gift givers, so they like to do extravagant things, but it doesn't always have to be like a break your pocket date.
Right. Right, right, right. And I mean, you really do get to decide. You
Right.
get to decide. And I think dating is about trying to make an impression,
Mm-hmm.
but don't try to be fake about it. Don't try
Mm-hmm.
to be someone who you are not. If
Right.
that is something that you authentically like to do and you want to share that experience with someone, then I think that then it wouldn't be expensive. If that is something, if you're going to go to a restaurant that you would typically go to, you're going to order things that you typically would like. So
Right.
you know what that price or what that budget for that is. So I would imagine if you want to take someone out on a date, you're showing them, okay, this is something that I like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so it doesn't necessarily have to, like you say, doesn't have to be expensive. It's more about showing who you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Let's see what our man here is saying. He says that dating became expensive with he said basically what you said. Dating
Mm-hmm.
became expensive with social media because the female got to post the food, the flowers. the outfit. So everything got to be on point, and it's crazy. And you're right. And that is the superficial part of it
Yeah.
that you were talking about. So
Right.
so I agree. But Kimberly here says dating for me is expensive because I'm an overgiver, an overthinker, and I personally overdo it when I go out. I feel seen today, but I do not do it to impress as much as I do it because I enjoy it.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, she said a lot of key things,
Mhm.
and this is being very, very open, and she's being very vulnerable, speaking her truth,
Right.
because I kind of feel that way as well. Um, I want to do things that I like to do. I want to go
Right.
places that I typically like to go. So you gotta, if you're trying to get to know me, you need to know what I like to eat. You need to know what places I like to go to. Um, and then vice versa. You
Yeah.
know, we have to share those things. And then there are things that we could do that doesn't cost anything.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
can do simple things. We can take a walk. We can go downtown or uptown or wherever you live. We can
Mhm.
go have some ice cream. It can almost sound corny, but it's really something that's nice, because if that's what you like, then that's a great date.
Right. And two, I'm gonna go back to Drunk's comment for a second. I do like to post food, but not just on dates. I just like to eat. So I like to post different food that I have. But don't worry, your outfit will never be in the picture because people will never know who I'm with or where I'm at while I'm there. But to go back to just the dating and people, like, it being expensive, I personally also would never expect to go on a date that I couldn't take myself on either. Like, I know I like nice things and I like good food and I like to go nice places, but I'm never gonna be like, "Ooh, I need to go to, I don't know, some expensive restaurant," because I go to good ones. But it's like I don't need this date to be overly extravagant. Like, I'm okay with doing stuff that I can do for myself. So it's like, now if it's expensive to you, but it's something that I can do, then we might need to have a different conversation.
Right.
But I'm not gonna expect this extremely lavish gift and diamonds and flowers and a 5 course meal with a personal chef if that's not something I would normally do for myself.
Or, right, if it's something that you wouldn't normally do for yourself, or if it's something that other person wouldn't do for themselves.
Right, that too.
So if
But
this is someone who, if they're used to having, a chef and whatever it is that he would consider
mhm.
I don't even know that he would consider it to be an extravagance.
Right.
That would be his lifestyle. That is
Yeah.
within his budget, and so he would want to share that experience with me, or give me that experience, or whoever that
Right.
experience. So once it's not out of your comfort zone,
Mhm.
once there has to be a person on this date that this is something that they would do for themselves. And I
Right.
think if you stay there, if this is something that you would do for yourself, if this is a place that you would go and this is what you like to do, then
Mm.
no, it's not expensive. But if
Right.
you're taking someone someplace because you heard that this was the right thing to do, or you felt
Exactly.
like this was going to make a great impression, then yes,
Mhm.
that's when it's expensive. And it's
Exactly.
expensive because you can't afford it.
Right. Now we sitting up here staring at each other because your car got declined, and I know mine not gonna go through. So get the dishwashing gloves out because we're gonna have to get out of here one way or another.
But I tell you something, I don't mind paying for a date.
Me either.
I don't. I absolutely do not. And there have been times when I want to pay. I
Hmm.
don't necessarily. I'm not really so much a Dutch person,
What's
because
Dutch?
anywhere that I go out on a date, I could afford.
Does does
So
Dutch mean you split it?
yeah, I don't really need the
Oh,
split
okay.
thing. I just
I'm back.
I'll just pay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I'm not above paying for a date. I don't have a problem with that.
Hmm.
I think whoever initiated the date should pay. Absolutely.
I agree.
I agree. I agree with that. I do think who
Yeah.
initiate the date should definitely should pay.
Same. I agree because I think it shouldn't. I don't think dating should be one way either. Like, someone's always taking you on dates. Like, I think it's okay, especially as a woman, to take a man on a date. And I feel like that doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if that happens as often as it should. But something that made me think about that even more is I saw a post saying that, like, even like in the simplest form, like most men don't even receive flowers until their funeral. So it's like, why do as women we expect to be courted and treated nice and appreciated, but we can't do the same for our partners? So I don't mind paying for dates and doing like small cute stuff because it's nice to feel appreciated. So
It
I would
is.
want whoever I'm dating or in a relationship with to feel appreciated as well.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Um, despite everything, okay, drunk.
Not
Here's drunk again.
everything I just said.
You know, I was about to say I love drunk, but let's not take this the wrong way. I don't love being drunk. but, but drunk said, despite everything I just said, I can't let a female pay for a date unless we're in a relationship because I just don't like that feeling as a man. Um, okay, that's your personal feeling. And we get that. And just like Q says, she says she feels like whoever initiates the date should pay.
Hmm.
But when I say that I don't mind paying for a date, I absolutely mean that. And
Yeah.
we're talking about dating, getting to know someone. So for me personally, if I'm getting to know you and I'm not in a relationship with you and we've been going out and you have been paying for all of the dates, I do want to extend that appreciation in some type of way. And I would like to pay. And I would probably, if it comes to that, if I have to ask you out, like if I say, okay, you know what, let's go out to dinner, and I am initiating that. So
Right.
yeah, I have no problem paying
Same.
whatsoever. And that definitely doesn't make him less of a man. Not
Hmm.
at all. Just like you said, as much as women like to be appreciated and showered with gifts and small things, I feel like, men are deserving of those same things. You kind of have to show a little bit of reciprocity. You know what I mean?
That's the word. That's the word. Lauren Hill said it in one of her songs.
Yes, she did. She did. Okay. And you're right. A lot of men do feel that way. I think it kind of they say they feel that way, but by the same token, at some point, if they've been going out on dates and going out on dates, and then if it doesn't turn into a relationship, then they begin to feel used. And
Right.
so that's that fine line, that's that tricky space that you're in because he feels like he's been spending money and then it's not going anywhere. But
Right.
if you're dating and you're allowing each of you to do different things and there's no special demand or pressure on one person, then I think that makes for a better um a better style of dating.
Yeah. I feel like if you're equally invested in getting to know each other, you can be equally invested in the dates you go on as well.
Absolutely. I agree. It just
Yeah.
it just takes communication. It takes
Yeah.
being a big girl. Be a big girl, be a big boy,
Be grown.
Be grown out
Don't be
here.
grown. I like what you said better.
Go ahead and be grown.
Right.
Mhm, mhm. We going, you know what? Next time drunk, I don't know what your situation is in terms of being on camera, but you know what? I want to bring you up on camera one of these times because you know what? I need to hear your voice. You got a lot going on. You talking a lot here this evening. And I like it. I dig it. You said a lot of women don't give gifts to men in relationships because they feel like being with them is the gift.
Mm.
Well, I mm,
Well,
what say
you,
you? What
I
say you,
mean,
people?
I do.
Now
Well,
I am the gift.
I was about to,
Let's
I
be
feel
clear.
like I am. My time is a gift, yes.
My time is
But
valuable.
right, my time is valuable. But if I feel like you are worthy of having my time, then I also want you to know that in a way than just saying, "Oh, you're with me, so that's the gift." Like,
Right. Because you know
because if
what?
somebody told me that, I'd be a little mad. But
That's very
excuse me,
arrogant.
right? Like, because we can, we don't have to do this.
That's very arrogant. But he is right. He is
Yeah,
right
he is.
because there
I've
are
seen it
women
and
who
heard it.
feel that way. And I do feel that way. I am the gift. My time is valuable. But I'm not going to make you feel like your time is invaluable either. So that is
Exactly.
where I am going to give some. But yeah, let's be clear. It can be two things at the same time. It doesn't have to
Yep.
be one or the other. I am the gift and I can give a gift.
Right. I can do both.
We can do both.
Get you a woman that can do both drunk. That's it. That's all.
That's you need a woman who can do both drunk and you deserve it. And maybe, I don't know, if you just change your name from drunk to sober, I don't know. Things could be different. No, I'm just-
Well, I mean, Kim said a drunk mouth speaks a sober mind. So drunk out here preaching to us, ain't it?
Thank you, man. We enjoy you. We enjoy you. Thank you for communicating with us as well.
Yeah.
Drunk mouth speaks a sober mind. He preached, didn't he? He did.
And
And
then,
see, and we need for people to be real.
right.
And when we decided to do this show, like as you see in the background right here, like I'm in the kitchen, but we decided to do this sitting at the kitchen table. And we said that we were going to do it. We didn't really have a formula or format. We just decided, hey, we've been talking about it. And if we overthink it, then we're not going to do it. If we wait
Right.
until we think it's going to be right, until we think we come up with the right formula, we'll never get out here and do it. So we just started talking to each other, and you guys started talking back to us, and we've been having a
Right.
lot of fun with it. So you guys make the show. We just here talking.
Right. We just talking back. That's all.
Hmm. All right. There you go, Kalia. Get you a woman who could do both.
Both.
Two things at the same time.
Multifaceted.
Two things can be true.
They can.
Yes, they can. I don't know. I don't know. People just make it seem like it's more difficult than it has to be.
And it's not that hard. It's
Mm-mm.
really not.
It's not.
But it's also a learning experience. I feel like you gotta have a few misses before you get it right. So
And you know what? I think we're too hard on ourselves. I
definitely.
I don't even think that we should go in there with this. What I'm going to say is kind of controversial, but I'm just going to say it. I don't even know necessarily that we have to go in saying, okay, I got to get this right.
Mhm.
Because all days aren't going to be good days.
Right.
Just like all days aren't going to be bad days, there are going to be some things that you're going to have to work through and work with. But you do have to define the things that you are willing to work through. They
Hmm.
can't be things that are going to be harmful to you, and be harmful to you can be in several different ways, whether that's physically, mentally, spiritually, uh, financially. You should not feel heavy burdens in any of those categories. You
Right.
shouldn't, because that isn't what dating is about. If you're going to have someone to join you, you know that's so that you can do something a little better.
Yeah.
And you've
And you
you've
always need
heard.
to grow.
Go ahead.
I just said you always need to grow too. You're constantly learning and growing. So
You do. But you hear it, there's an old saying that says, I can do bad all by myself. And there's so much truth to that. To be involved with someone or to go out with someone just because you want to be out, or for that fear of what we were talking about before, that fear of loneliness, that fear of what should be some alone time. Don't do that to yourself. You
yeah.
shouldn't do that to yourself. So I feel like people who are doing that are some of the people who find themselves in relationships that doesn't really have, or situations that doesn't really have a balance.
Yeah.
Somebody's taking too much. Somebody is becoming too draining to you. They begin
Right.
to abuse your time.
Mhm.
They abuse you verbally. They're putting you. Listen, though, that's when you get involved in those type of situations, because you're so running away and have this little desperation of not, that fear of that loneliness.
Yeah.
Wipe that out of your mind. Wipe that
Mhm.
out of your mind.
Yeah. You're gonna be good. You know that I can do bad all just by myself just made sense to me in my head.
Well, it's true.
That just clicked.
And mistakes are expected in other aspects of life. It
They
is.
are.
I mean, you think about this because we all grow up in a home, a family, whatever that family dynamic is. But most of us grow up in a home, and you got to know that you do not agree with everybody in that house at every point. There's
Right.
something that nags you about something that someone does, or the way
Mhm.
that they do something, or how they say something. But there's a way to handle it. There's a way
Mhm.
of getting along, you know?
Right.
And you take those lessons into relationships. If you learn to treat yourself well, if you learn to have a certain respect for yourself and respect your own time. See, when you respect your own time, there's no way that you could feel lonely.
Right.
You can't feel lonely when you respect your own time. If you say to me that your time is valuable, I feel like your time must be valuable to you. What are you doing to bring value to yourself when you're not in the presence of someone else? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you're able to do that, and that's not an easy thing to do. Like people can talk a good talk, they really
Mhm.
can. But when it comes down to it, you've got to walk that walk.
Got to.
You really
Got to.
do. And then that's when you know that your time is when someone else is worth spending your time with. You can tell.
Mhm.
You really can tell. You can really you'll be sitting at the bar, and even if that person buys you a drink, and even if you deny it or if you take it and you talk to them a few minutes, you know that that's not a person that you want to be involved with. You got to trust
Yeah.
your gut too. Listen to that inside voice. You have that gut, you have that natural reaction for a reason. We have those senses for a reason, and we don't like to listen to them. Because a
Mhm.
person buys you something, that is not a good reason to be with them or to go out with them
Exactly.
or to talk to them, you know?
Mhm.
So it's about knowing yourself.
Yeah. Most definitely.
All right, all
Out here
right.
spitting facts. No printer. I won't say that no more. But
Drunk says, I honestly only feel lonely when I see people on social media out having fun in big groups. But other than that, I'm good. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Doesn't bother me at all.
no, not one bit.
Not one
Not
bit.
one bit.
Listen to me good. I treat social media the same way I watch television and movies. That is some edited shit. Okay?
Right.
Right? So
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote the script. I don't know who the actors and the players are, and that's fine, but that does not make me feel any type of way. And then if it's now let's change this into if I know the players. So
Mhm.
say I see some people I know on social media who are out having a good time, big group, they're having fun. Well, guess what? I still don't feel upset about that because now I'm happy for my people. I want my people to be happy and to have fun. So I don't feel that. I
Right.
don't.
And I won't say it makes me feel lonely, but I can say like, especially if it's people I know and they're out having a good time, like, yeah, I'm happy for them. But then it's sometimes I can understand feeling like, dang, you missed out on being able to have fun with, your people, especially having friends in as an adult, because everybody doesn't live in the same place. So I can understand feeling like, dang, I wish I could have been there. But it doesn't make me feel lonely. It's just like, a little FOMO, fear of missing out, but I'll still be happy for them after I get over the fact that I wasn't there.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, you say half of them people are with each other in public and talking about them behind their backs. Hmm.
Well,
It's true though.
it is. I've seen it happen.
I've seen it and I heard it happen.
Right.
Let me
That's when
tell
I
you something.
mind my business.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. The amount of stuff that I heard the amount of stuff that gets back to me that I heard people say about me is so interesting.
It is.
It's
It
so
really
interesting.
is.
So listen, you cannot worry about that. Social media, I can see how social media can do that to some people, but you just got to watch that thing like some entertainment. And then
Right.
really don't be on it that much. If you were out, you probably would have seen them out. But no, you at home doing this.
And see me, I'm at home doing that because I chose to be at home. But yeah, I I agree. And I agree with what Q said too. Most of the time people talking about you. And I honestly look at it like this, and I don't know if it's changed the way I treat people, so to speak, but if they're talking about the people they hang with to you, just imagine what they're saying about you.
Well, you already know that they're talking about you.
Right. So,
Hmm. You know what time it is? You need to look at that little clock up
uh-oh,
there. You need to look at that little clock.
not it's almost 7 o'clock. Not it's 6:59. I
That
need to put
thing
my
said we've been
second
talking.
timer up there.
That thing said we've been talking over an hour.
An hour and counting.
Now, what did drunk say?
He gonna steal that, treating social media like TV. We can put it on a shirt for you, drunk.
You know what? We gonna put it on a shirt. We got some shirts, y'all. We got
You
some
know,
shirts. Y'all, we got some merch coming. Let them know we got merch coming.
we do. So be on the and I was gonna wear one today.
I was
But I
too, but
haven't unpacked my iron yet. And I wasn't gonna do the brown South girls like that. So
thank you.
I had to find something not wrinkled. But don't worry, I got y'all the next last Sunday.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Listen, I can't believe it's been an hour already.
Right, this was a great hour.
You was drunk. You made it so much fun.
Right, we appreciate you. Everybody
You
comment
made it
today.
so much fun. Kimberly, you made it so much fun. Everybody who's been watching, thank y'all. There's a whole lot of messages that I don't necessarily know if I've been watching, but I do want to tell you guys that this is the show where we chat, and the chat is really for you, and it is about you. All right. We're gonna come up with some more topics. You got some more topics to come up with next time?
Sure do. Yeah, yeah, and shoot, if y'all want to comment y'all some topics, some stuff y'all want us to talk about too, if we didn't get
Matter
to it today.
Matter of fact, I like that. Y'all comment some topics. Y'all go to the Brown South Girls podcast. We got a page on Facebook. So just drop us a little comment, drop us a little post, and let us know. Maybe, in fact, KJ, you make a
Yeah,
little post and ask the people what topics they want to talk about. And you
I can
guys
handle
just
that.
drop those in the comments. And then the same time, next month. Now, I don't know what day it is. Do you know what day it is?
See, I'm ready this time. I got my iPad so I can pull up my calendar. Caught
Pull
me
it up.
slipping last month.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
August. August 28th.
August 28th. So you
August
put up something.
28th.
Y'all think, get your wheels turning. Think
Uh-oh.
about some things that we need to talk about, because I feel like if we have these type of conversations, then we'll know what's on each other's minds. Instead of just
Right.
watching people have fun and have
We gonna make
misinterpretations,
it fun.
let's communicate and use our words so that we will know.
Right. And then we
Let the
can be
people
the
know,
fun.
let the people know one more thing. Tomorrow night is
Mhm.
Monday. And I
It
do
is.
this thing on Monday nights. What do I do on Monday nights?
Free to speak open mic.
Free to Speak open mic August 1st. Tomorrow night, I will be at Vibes 843. And it is a different type of open mic. I have poets in the building, thought leaders, community leaders, people who just have something to say. We put topics in the hat and we do something kind of like this. But you get to hear some poetry. You get to enjoy some great vibes, some great food, some great drinks. And I'm hosting and I'm moderating. So I'm going to be in the building tomorrow, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. So if you're in Flowtown, come to Vibes 843 and we're gonna talk a little bit more. Where you gonna be at tomorrow?
I'm gonna be at work. But
Well, it's
y'all
that
make sure y'all have fun for me.
it's that time of year because in fact,
Right.
the kids are going back to school
The
tomorrow.
kids are coming back.
The kids are about to go back to college. So it's that time of
Mhm.
year.
Yeah, I'll probably be fussing at some football players tomorrow at that time, but it's okay.
All right, y'all. I've had a whole lot of fun. KJ, I always have fun talking to you. You are
Of
my girl.
course. You mind too.
All right. So y'all be good, stay cool, because it's hot out there. Until the next time. All right. Y'all
Peace.
just make sure you do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Please. Please and thank you.
All right. Oh, you gonna do the right thing?
Oh, wait. Most of the time.
Mhm.